Did you know that scars can be a wonderful indicator of love? Hey friends, it's Pastor Mike from Fellowship Church. Always enjoy connecting with you midweek. I hope you're loving this really warm spring weather that we're having. Feels like June already, long winter. Hope you're loving this weather as much as I am. That question for you again, did you know that scars can be a wonderful indicator of love? As a pastor, I'm in a position from time to time where people want to show me their scars as if I'm some kind of an expert on scars, like somebody has surgery and they want to show me their knee or their ankle or something. Hey, Pastor Mike, look at this one, like I'm supposed to compare it to them others. So I certainly have seen some scars over time. Did you know that Jesus had scars as well? I've been reading through in the Bible some of the post-resurrection appearances of Jesus. That is, after he was raised from the dead, the number of times when he met with some people in person, physically, and the kinds of interactions they had, the things they talked about. It's a wonderful study. But in John chapter 20, Jesus comes and meets with his disciples. They didn't know he was coming to that meeting. The Bible tells us that the disciples were all locked in a room for fear of the opposition, for fear of the Jews. They were scared about the possibility of someone coming to arrest them. And Jesus just appeared in that room. And if you know the story at all, again, John chapter 20, Jesus goes to Thomas. We like to call Thomas, the disciple, we like to call him the doubting Thomas, right? Because Thomas was the one who earlier had said, I don't believe this resurrection nonsense. I won't believe it unless I can see him and see his wounds. Well, Jesus comes to the disciples and he shows them his wounds or his scars. He shows them his hands. He shows them his side. I don't know why he didn't show them his feet, because he would have had wounds there as well. But Jesus shows the disciples his wounds, his scars. Now, normally when we read that story, we'd say, well, see, those scars, those wounds are evidence that Jesus really was alive again. And when Thomas saw the wounds, those scars, he said, my Lord and my God, I believe that you're alive now. I wasn't going to believe it until I saw the wounds. But what if those wounds had another purpose? More than just proof of Jesus' identity. What if those wounds were also proof of Jesus' love? For example, when he can, in a post-resurrection appearance, show the disciples his hands and his side and maybe even his feet, and maybe they could still see the marks on his forehead where the crown of thorns had pressed into him, or other marks from the abuse he had taken. The disciples were left with one and only one conclusion, which is, wow, this is how far Jesus would go to show me his love. When we think of the wounds of Jesus, we can't help but think, wow, he did that for me. I'll bet you know a mom who today has some kind of wounds from childbirth or bearing children or something. And maybe today she's a little bit embarrassed by them. But to us, we would say, wow, that's a sign of love. We know that she loved her children enough that she's willing to bear those wounds. Friends, I wonder if you have wounds anywhere in your body that would be a sign of your love for someone else. Not just the wounds that we sustain in this life, little scars from accidents and so on, but a scar for which we'd say, yeah, I was willing to take that for somebody else as a sign of my love for them. And Jesus' scars, those wounds that he bore, he reminds all of us, not just Thomas, not just the rest of the disciples, he reminds all of us just exactly how much he loves us. So if you go back and read John 20 and you read about Jesus' scars, just be reminded of the fact that Jesus said, I did this for you. And those wounds, those were for you. That's a reminder of love, friends. I hope you had a wonderful Easter. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Sure hope you have a great week this week. Just know that we love you and Jesus loves you as well. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.